You need a way to tackle big projects in a way that is sustainable for your family, and I'm going to help you. Hey everybody, welcome back to Fiction Technician. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jane Kalmus. I am a writer of historical cozy mysteries, and I am also the mom to 4 little kids, aged 3 to 8. So today we're going to be talking about how to take on big challenges like Nanowrimo while still keeping up with being a mom. So I really wanted to call this video Nanowrimo Hacks for Writing Moms because I love hacks. We all love hacks, right? But I was talking to my sister about it. She's not a writer, but she is working at home with her kids while the COVID quarantine is going on. And she said to me, you know, being a successful working mom, it's not really about hacks. It's about knowing yourself. And I was like, wow, accurate. When we talk about how to take on new challenges while still keeping up with the family, well, we're talking about how to get more from ourselves, more work, more output. And, you know, to use a metaphor, you're not a machine, but if you wanted to get the most you can out of a machine, you've got to know how it works. You've got to know what it needs to work at its best. You've got to know where are there inefficiencies that you could kind of smooth out, and how much pressure can you put it under before it really breaks. So that, and I realized that all of my tips really had to do with that, with knowing yourself. So that is going to be our overarching theme for today, how to know yourself as a writer, how to keep data on the way you work so that you can work more efficiently in the future, how to help your family know you in a way that is going to make them want to show up for you and enable your career goals, and also how to quiet that inner voice that tells us, hey, you know, if I just worked twice as hard, everything would be perfect. Okay, but before we get started, if you like my channel, if you like what I'm doing here, please like this video, subscribe, and the best thing you can do if you really want to help me get the word out is share this video on social media or with a writer you think would enjoy it. All right, let's talk about my first tip for how to get through NaNoWriMo as a mom, and that's know when you work the best. Okay, we're moms. All of our minutes are precious, and so we want to be working at a time of day when we can be comfortable and happy in our work, so we can be putting out a lot of good words. So you want to think about what time of day you work most efficiently at. If you're not sure exactly what time of day is going to be most efficient for you to work, I'm going to suggest that you just give a try to bright and early in the morning. That's what I'm going to be doing for NaNoWriMo. I'm going to get up at 5:45 and I'm going to work till about 7 when my kids are ready to start getting ready for school. So there are a few reasons for this. First, there are 2 basic ways that my kids interfere with my ability to get things accomplished. We're going to deal with the first one right now, and that's straight up interference, chaos. Maybe the toddler needs an emergency bath, maybe a big fight breaks out or there's a mess, but whatever happens during the day, I know there's going to be a little bit of chaos, and getting some words done before that chaos starts is my most reliable way of making sure that the day does not completely disappear without me able to get a little work done. But there's more to it than that. So at 7, when my day with the kids starts, there's a lot to do. We've got to pack bags, get shoes, eat breakfast, and whatever I say to my kids during this time, I don't want it to come from a place of anxiety about my work. If I have a few words done, even if it's not the whole shebang for the day, well then I can go into that time with my kids in a happier, more confident place. And it's just a more pleasant morning for all of us. So once my kids are ready for school, it's 8 o'clock. I'm gonna drive them to school, drop them off, come back, and then for the next 2.5 hours while my youngest is in preschool, I will finish any remaining words for the day. And if I don't quite get to where I want to be to keep up with my nano pace, then I may try to sneak in a few paragraphs over the course of the day with my kids. But what I'm not gonna do, the one thing I won't do, is count on being able to finish my words at the end of the day. So this is a mistake that I have made many times, and this comes back to knowing yourself. I know now, finally, after having aired many times, that I cannot count on being able to do a mentally challenging job at the end of the day. I just can't. This is the second way that my kids interfere with my ability to get things done. They wear me out. Usually by the end of the day, I am quite tired, and in particular, my willpower is gone. It has been spent on coaxing people through homework and saying no to requests for unhealthy snacks, and a million things during the day. But what I will use that window at the end of the day for is planning. So this is my second tip for how to get through NaNoWriMo as a mom. Once you know when you're going to be writing, you can be sure to arrive at that writing session prepared. Maybe you're too tired to actually write at the end of the day, but you could still spend a few minutes tidying up your desk so that you are comfortable and happy when you sit down to write tomorrow. I'm going to spend that window planning scenes. I've got this little scene planner spreadsheet that I made up for myself in GoodNotes, and I'm just going to kind of figure out a few things that I want to happen in the scene I'm going to write tomorrow, and that's going to help me get a good job done tomorrow. So when we think about writer's block, there are basically two things we're talking about, and that's indecision about what we're going to write, or anxiety about actually doing the work. And for me, planning something, it really helps solve both of those areas. I no longer have to feel quite so indecisive, and I know that I've got a plan, so my anxiety is tamped down a little bit. For you, if you're a pantser, maybe preparing for your next writing session just has to do with figuring out who the point of view character is going to be in your next scene, or maybe figuring out one thing that you're excited about writing towards. Maybe one really good line of dialogue that you just can't wait to write once you write the material that's going to go up to it. But whatever it is, having a little bit of preparation in place can really help that writing session go well. My third tip for NaNoWriMo moms is to get your family's buy-in. Okay, this is so important. So whoever is helping you with childcare, whether that's a spouse or a grandparent or a friend, you may need a little bit more from them this month, and it is so important for them to know why. And I don't just mean tell them it's NaNoWriMo this month and I need some help, but tell them what you're hoping to get out of NaNoWriMo. Are you hoping to take a step forward in your career by really getting most of a novel done? Are you hoping to increase your writing speed, or maybe grow in your skills by putting yourself through this big challenge? But whatever it is, talk to them about it. It can often be difficult for writers to share our dreams with people. Writers, I tend to lurch from crippling self-doubt to towering arrogance, and it's a wild ride, and it can be hard to share those feelings with other people. But telling them what your dreams are, it's the kind of vulnerability and humanity that makes people want to show up for you, and that makes them happier making sacrifices to help you achieve those goals. It's also really valuable to get buy-in from your kids. So your kids are not going to be doing the work of NaNoWriMo, but they are going to be experiencing it. They may be getting less mom time and enduring changes in their routine, and it's really valuable to kind of let them know why. Not only because that's going to make them happier in this situation and make them more willing to make those sacrifices, but also because it's just a healthy thing to model, to show them how passionate you are about your work and why. So there are lots of ways you can do this. If they're old enough, you can let them read your book. If they're young, you can let them draw illustrations for your book, and you can maybe tell them stories from your scenes at bedtime. Kids, especially little kids, are endlessly interested in you, and you can really use that to help them catch on to your passion about writing and understand why mom works so hard. But if all else fails, bribe them. So many people set up NaNoWriMo rewards for themselves. Maybe when you get to 10K words, you get this treat, and at 20K, you get this one. You can also set up rewards for your family. So for example, maybe when mom gets to 10K words, the whole family gets to order pizza for the night. So that's a win-win, because the kids got pizza and you didn't have to cook. And you can structure all of your family rewards like this. Maybe the rewards are an afternoon at grandma's, or some new puzzle or game that you know is going to engage them for a few hours and let you get in a few more words. And my last tip for nano moms is to keep a productivity log. So this is going to come back again to knowing ourselves. We're going to get to know ourselves a little bit better so that we can be more productive in the future. So I got the idea for this from my gratitude journal. I keep a gratitude journal, and at the end of every day, I write down 3 things that went well and a reason why for each one. And perhaps I'd write down, I read a really cool book, and the reason would be my husband recommended it to me. And as time has gone on, I've realized that the why is really the most important part, because over time you notice patterns in that column, and it starts to help you identify the things that are chronically right in your life. So, maybe my husband recommended that book to me. Maybe another night he bought takeout because he knew I was busy. Or maybe I got an extra hour of sleep on the weekends because he got up with the kids. And the thing that I'm noticing in the why column, the chronically right thing, is that my husband really does love me and know me. And that is an important thing for me to take notice of and hold in my heart. So we're going to do the same thing with our productivity journal. At the end of every day, we're just going to write down whether it was a good writing day, one where we met our goals, or a bad writing day, one where we didn't quite get there. And you can do this in your bullet journal or just on your phone. But you're also going to write down one reason why. It doesn't have to be a comprehensive list of all the reasons, just one thing that you feel impacted the day. Maybe on a bad day, you'd write down that there was just a lot of kid chaos, or you didn't get enough sleep the night before. Maybe on a good day, you'd write down that you just really had the scenes well planned and you knew what you wanted to write. But whatever it is, you're going to start noticing the patterns that help you or hurt you. You're going to start noticing the things that go well. Maybe it's planning for you. Maybe it's just that when you come to your work with a lot of positive emotion and excitement, things always go well. Or maybe there's a particular time of day where things always go well for you. And then you can work on trying to replicate those situations, trying to bring those situations forward so that you can have more productive days in the future. And when you begin to notice situations that are chronically difficult for you, that frequently get in the way of you having the kind of writing day you want, well, then you can start to develop solutions to shortcut those situations before they happen, or to enlist the help of others to get through them. So sometimes the reason you write down that you didn't get to your writing quota today will be, I chose to prioritize my family. Maybe you'll have a child who is really having a difficult time and needs a lot of attention. Maybe you just feel like you need to hustle around and get some Thanksgiving prep together so that you can have a wonderful holiday together as a family. Well, I think this is one of the most important whys to write down, because when this happens to me, and it does, that's okay. I don't like it, but it is okay with me ultimately, because putting my kids above my work life and my priorities is ultimately in line with my values. I think that's true of a lot of moms. So working moms are often told we can have it all, and I do believe in trying to have a great career and a great home life. But my actual experience is that there are times when you have to choose where you're going to make a sacrifice, either in work or in family. And when you have chosen to make a sacrifice of your work to help the people you love, I think it's important to notice that that's okay, and to grant yourself respect for having done it. These are the kind of sacrifices that we parents, but especially we moms, often make without them being much remarked upon or celebrated. So here in your productivity journal, this is a place where you can remark upon that and celebrate it. And at the end of November, if perhaps you wind up with a word count that's a little below where you wanted it to be, it's important to have that log to look back on, so that you can see that, well, one of the reasons that I didn't get to where I wanted to be was that I chose to sacrifice for my family. That is a much better feeling to have than just looking at a disappointing word count and wondering why, and feeling that perhaps you have failed, when the actual truth may be that you have been kicking all sorts of butt. You have been writing and mothering, the two hardest things that I have ever done, and you've been doing them together at a level that is as great as anybody could possibly expect. So if any of this has resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. Give me a like if you get a chance, and I am wishing you a productive NaNoWriMo and a beautiful November with your kids. Check out.